Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Mike Chu, a physical therapist. And yes, I am your alternative career coach for today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to start your yoga practice with Cheryl Albright. We'll be back in a few seconds, okay?
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
Welcome back to Alternative Healthcare Career Show. This is Dr. Mike Chu again, physical therapist. Tonight or today, we have a special guest. Her name is Cheryl Albright. But before I keep on going, let me just put this out there. All right, real quick. Don't forget to use our code if you need if you need continuing education units. Go ahead, check out medbridgeeducation.com. Use the code alternative, right? You get 40% discount. All right, and of course, we are going to have that geriatric rehab summit coming soon. It's going to be led by Carol Welke. She's the next level OT. But yeah, if you need that link, just shoot me a message. Well, I'll send you our link. Geriatric rehab summit, right? Well, anyway, our guest for today, her name is Cheryl Albright. She's an occupational therapist. She's the owner and founder of Soul to Soul Yoga. I've been teaching yoga, in our physical therapy clinic here. I feel like I'm a yoga instructor, but I think I need to know what a yoga instructor is really. I just pretend, I'm doing yoga, but no, I know there's more art to it and science. So. She's actually an occupational therapist, Soul to Soul Yoga, and of course, she's a writer for Special Sib. We're going to ask her what that is later. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Cheryl Albright. Cheryl, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right.
You're good. You're good.
Is it good? Is it good? All right. Could you please tell us again who you are, what you do, and then how can we start our own yoga practice? How does that work? I don't know. I'm just a physical therapist, thinking I can do yoga too, but not really yoga. So, yeah, could you please tell us?
Sure. So my name is Cheryl Albright. I'm the owner of Soul to Soul Yoga and All Ages Therapy Services, which is a DBA, just so I can bill insurance. So yeah, he's asking, how do I build my own yoga practice? So this is how I think of things. Some therapists, they use water and they call it aquatic therapy. Other therapists use horses and they call it hippotherapy. I'm an occupational therapist and I'm using yoga as my primary modality. And so, yes, Mike, what you are doing is just the physical part of a yoga practice, but there's actually 8 different limbs to yoga and physical postures just being one. So there's a lot of philosophy that goes on behind the scenes. It's not just putting your body into contorted poses or doing certain breathing techniques. So there's actually a little bit more to the story. So
Wow.
yeah, I figured out how to just merge the two, and it's actually quite easy.
I love those people who are open-minded. And a lot of people say it's so hard, so hard, so hard. You hear what Cheryl said? It's so easy. You don't have to make it complicated, ladies and gentlemen. So with Cheryl's program, she's going to help you make it really easy. So Cheryl, could you please? I'm looking at your background. Is that your actual studio?
It is. It is.
Oh wow! This is actually not my studio. This is my storage. Let me.
Hey, it's studio closet, man.
It's not my
it's
studio.
your closet.
Nice studios. Wow.
Studio closet.
So, why yoga? I know you're an OT. First of all, why yoga? Is there any reason why why you wanted to incorporate yoga in your treatments?
Sure. So I would say 12 years ago, I was looking for a continuing ed class, and my accountant said, go big, because I needed a big tax write off. So I was in when Advance used to come in that paper circular and was like, oh, a week in Sarasota, Florida. That sounds like fun. And didn't realize really what I was signing up for. It was a week-long program with yoga for the special child, and I've been doing it ever since. I went back to the school that I was working for and tried it in groups and individuals and different diagnoses. And then I did travel therapy for a number of years and tried it on somebody else's dime and was like, okay, this stuff is really, really working. So when I finally figured out where we were going to, I don't want to say settle down, but where we ended up is in Sarasota, Florida. So then I started my own. Started as a side hustle where I just kind of went out to group homes or went to different individuals, and then I now am in a studio.
That's so good. That's so good. I like what she said, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you're still watching live, comment live, watching on the replay, comment replay. But I like what Cheryl said. It started with a side hustle.
Mhm.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? You don't have to have a big studio like Cheryl has, or an outpatient clinic like what we have. Start small. You know what they tell. Look at my hair. You know what they tell you when you're how you eat an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So just do one thing at a time. Take the initial yoga instructor thing first, or reach out to Cheryl about it, and then go from there. All right. So, Cheryl, how long does it take to be a what do you call that? CIATYBCDCCI
The alphabet
ABCD?
soup that's after our last names. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
there's yoga teacher, and then there's yoga therapist, and the yoga teacher trainings vary a lot. Yoga Alliance is for a different interview altogether. However, they do certify or credential, I guess you could call it, different yoga centers to teach teacher training. So it's 200 hours, which is, you and I are therapists. We kind of think that's kind of a joke, right? At 200 hours, you're going to be ready to go. And they have 500-hour. And then the yoga therapist, there's two different routes. You can do it by hours, how many hours you are teaching, plus therapy, plus your yoga training. Or the University of Maryland actually has a master's in yoga therapy now. So
Wow.
either one.
Now, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Does it count towards your CEU when you attend that classes? I guess, yeah.
It depends on which one. So yoga for the special child, I was on the team that helped them get AOTA approved. APTA is a little more challenging, but AOTA, we were able to push that through without a problem. So those courses, including the one I teach, are all OT approved, Yoga Alliance, and International Yoga Therapy, all combined into one. So what's nice is then I can get all my hours into one. So you don't have to take a bunch of different courses, but not all of
So
them are
true. So
created
true.
equal.
It's of course true. So, where are you? What state are you at, by the way? I forgot to ask.
Sarasota, Florida.
Florida. I hate you, right? So we're here right now, storms and wind, so cold and everything.
I'm
So,
from
but
Rochester, New York, so I get
after getting
it.
those, so you're used to it, right? So you're living the dream there at Florida. Well, I guess my next question is, Cheryl, is can we start this immediately? Even I mean, I know 200 hours is going to be like 2 or 4 or 5 weeks, but do I need to get the certification, or can I go ahead and shadow you and learn from you? How does that work?
So there's a combination of things you could do, and then there's things that I would suggest. So technically, I mean, with our degrees, we can teach the physical postures, but that's as far as it goes. So if you want to actually teach yoga, you really need to have some kind of courses behind you. So even if you're not going to take one for, say, the physical postures, but at least something with the yoga philosophy, there's a ton of amazing teachers out there right now. The accessible yoga community is a great place to start. I mean, we're taught to adapt everything. So yoga is no different. And I think Jivana's program fits great for therapists as well. And he's going to integrate all of those things in the background. Same thing with yoga for the special child. So you don't need the 200 hours per se, but if you at least took something, so you get the philosophy behind what it is that you're doing, it makes more sense, and you're going to see more, I don't want to say progress, but you're going to see more changes in your clients.
Wow, it's amazing. Again, I guess my next question is, so once we've gotten that, quote unquote certification or the confidence in doing this, sometimes you know what, to be honest, I'm like you. I mean, not you, Cheryl, but the rest of you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm like the rest of you. I want to get certifications and CEUs, everything under my belt. I was just talking to my patient. She's outside there, being treated by our team. But she was like, "You need to have a bigger business card, Dr. Mike, with all the letters behind your name: APTA, CDP, CA." And sometimes we're like, when we go to get the CEUs, we're like, I need to get this CEU, I need to get this certification, I need to get this blah 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 blah, because for us. But sometimes we just have to stop consuming and start producing, start serving your community. And that's what I think Cheryl did. She took that action, she consumed it, and she started producing. And that's what I want you to do too here in Alternative Career Group. If you're watching live, comment live, watching on a replay, comment replay. Stop consuming, stop buying those courses. Well, I mean, of course, buy our courses. Don't get me wrong, we're selling courses. But if you get ours, if you get my certified dementia practitioner class or the Jerry Hab or whatever, you implement it. And that's what Cheryl is going to do too. She's going to teach you how to open and start your yoga practice. And just don't stop in getting her certification. Go ahead and implement it in your community. You take action. And that's what we're all getting stuck at. You got
to start somewhere, right? And so even when I was working for somebody else, I would try it and see, like, could I get some anecdotal information? Could I get my copy? Could I get things from other clients? And yeah, I went through all the hours. Is that completely necessary? I guess not. I'm a lifelong learner, just like you. I have the letters that are listed here are half of what is after my last name. And I don't think that that's necessarily needed. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a specific population, like you do geriatrics, I work in developmental disabilities. So of all ages, it was all pretty much developmental disabilities with a few outliers here or there. But I got like my first random referral from a physician today, a physician's group I've never talked to. It just showed up in my fax machine. And I was like, okay, so people are talking. And so you just keep going. Like, it's not, you have to do something. You can't just take the course and be like, okay, now I'm good. Like, no, if that's what you want. I mean, it depends. Like I train my OTAs. And so if you walk in, you're going to get the same framework of a treatment session from everybody so that everything is streamlined and consistent.
Perfect. So speaking of framework, we're just going to go on a quick break real quick. Okay, we'll be back.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
All right, welcome back to Alternative Healthcare Career Show. This is Dr. Mike, physical therapist, your alternative career coach. Today, we're interviewing Cheryl Albright. She's an occupational therapist, and she has her own studio there in Florida. She's going to teach us how to start your own yoga practice. By the way, that's yoga. That's yoga note, right? No, that's if you need the documentation system in your private practice, use hellonote.com, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and bring back Miss Cheryl. Miss Cheryl, where you at? There she is. There you go, Miss Cheryl. So now that you've honed in your what you call this, your niche, your yoga,
Mhm.
you're doing developmental disability. Did you immediately open up your big studio, or you said you started with a
Um,
small space? I mean,
I
how
start.
do we do this? How do
It
Mhm.
evolved. So I started with just doing home visits and going out to group homes or day programs, preschools, anybody that would open their doors, really, and networked my little tail off. But yeah, if you go to sunbiz.org, it's still my home address. It started in my house. Office was there. Went out into the community. Was 100% community based to start. Then I was at a certain revenue point where I was like, okay, an office sounds like it's a good idea. And I had a shared office space with a special needs tutor and advocate, as well as a social worker. So the rent was split 3 ways. And then I got to a point where I could go out on my own, and it was fun. It was last summer. So I said I felt like, an adult that no longer has roommates anymore and could, grow up and do my own thing. So it was slow, strategic, and methodical. It wasn't anything all at once. I didn't take on a huge amount of overhead, and I just kept gradually building as the business built.
There you go. Did you hear what she said, ladies and gentlemen? She did slow and strategic. You need to have a plan, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to start your own private practice, or side little hustle, you got to have a plan. Failure to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you gotta have to have a plan. And like what I said, it doesn't have to be a big plan.
Hmm.
But it has to be strategic. It needs to be a smart goal. We always do this in our documentation. It needs to be specific. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be attainable. All right, realistic and time bound. And part
Mhm.
of that, if you summarize it, it needs to be strategically placed. So I like that's the reason why I reached out to Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl, let's do this. Let's encourage the people in our group. Maybe we could, help there's this thing. If we can just help one person,
Mhm.
we're gonna change a big world. There's this grandfather, and a grandson. They were like walking and throwing the shell and throwing it back to the sea. And the grandson said, "Granddad, why are you throwing the shells back in the sea? I mean, there's so much shells here, and the snails there. It's not going to make a difference." And the granddad said, "Hey, with this snail or whatever, threw it back in the sea. That made a difference. If we can help one person in the alternative career group start their own little practice, start their own yoga practice. It doesn't have to be a rehab practice, a yoga practice. We can change her life, and then she can impact more people in her community. You improve we improve ourselves as a therapist, and we improve our community. Imagine the effect, the ripple effect. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to bring back Miss Cheryl. Miss Cheryl, so with your program, when are you going to start that program teaching us in the alternative career group? Go teach us.
It it's coming. The workbook is coming slowly and surely. I got some information from some other therapists that had taken like yoga for the special child, and people started reaching out going, "How are you doing this?" And I said, "Okay, now it's time to put it in a pretty little package and do it as like a business
Mm-hmm.
course and things like that." So it's in the timeline for this year. I don't have an exact launch date, but if you held my wrist, I do well with deadlines. So if you said, we need this by, I would get it done. And so, I was that procrastinator, but it's working on it in Canva now and figuring out what it is that people are actually looking for. And honestly, I highly suggest not billing insurance for a while. It puts too many things in the pot and gets you really confused. If you can stick to private pay for even just a little bit and just figure out your price points and you don't have to jump in all at once, just little by little. I didn't start taking insurance until 2 years ago. And there's going to be some tweaking in that as well. And so, I wanted to serve more people. Most of my developmental disability folks are on Medicare or Medicaid, so I knew that would have to come down the pike. It's paperwork. Like I said, you don't have to do all this at once, little steps. Start as a side hustle, try to work out some of the kinks when you only have like 1 or 2 clients instead of a whole huge caseload and other therapists running around and you're scrambling. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it. Slow, methodical, figure out maybe where your systems and processes are breaking down. I'm still constantly reevaluating that, reevaluating my EMR system, looking at Hello Note. Maybe I'll end up using that. Who knows?
Don't forget to use our code. Just kidding.
I've been shopping around just out of curiosity. I think mine works okay for now. And, it doesn't matter if it's yoga or what the business is. If you just slow to grow. We're not in a hurry. It's not a race. You're not going to jump out of the gate. When I say I networked my tail off, if there was a disability event anywhere in, I'd say, a 3-county radius, I was there. I had a table. I was handing out flyers. I was getting email addresses, to the point where some of my students, like over Easter seals, stop and they're like, "You're everywhere." I was like, awesome, mission accomplished. And some people aren't going to be able to do those kind of things either. And land of COVID, like I think Florida forgot that we had a pandemic. So like our situation's a little bit different in the past couple of years, but there's still online networking. There's still reaching out to the agencies that serve the clients you want to serve too. So for me, it was places like Easter Seals and United Cerebral Palsy, and the places where those people hang out. How can I get information into the hands that are going to consume it? Maybe I could come teach a yoga class for you too. Who knows? And so that's just kind of how I built relationships in the community. So I'm the go-to if they want yoga adapted.
You're not just the go-to, you're the GOAT. Well, anyway, I like what Cheryl said about keeping it simple. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to, do all you don't have to do the Medicare credentialing immediately. Just do it slowly at a time. Maybe you could start with cash. You know what? Actually, we recommend starting with cash because that's how you develop your confidence. You develop your confidence by saying, imagine a massage therapist, and and then their massage therapists. They don't even blink an eye if they say their rates. Massage therapist, I pay her $90. When I went to the mall, I paid like 140. They didn't even blink an eye. I was like, oh, okay, this is 140. It's like a Chinese guy. So, and then here we are, therapists, trying to scratch our head. I mean, do I build this? Start slow, like what Cheryl said. But here's the word there. You got to start somewhere else. You got to start somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. And like Anthony said, thank you very much, Anthony. I was just watching. Shout out to Anthony Merritt. I was just watching his video earlier. So Cheryl, you also mentioned agencies. I like the word that she said, networking. You got to put yourself out there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Cheryl did. So I'm surprised there's also Easter Seals there. I also serve the Easter Seals community here. So we see their intellectual disabled clients. You don't want to say the word patient, right? They just want what you call this? They want clients, right? And then, network. Put yourself out there, right? Oh, Carrie said, thank you so much, Mike. Hey, Carrie. Carrie is a PTA. She's a personal trainer. They have a group called Barbell Beauties. So all they serve are female who wants to lift barbells. I tried to go in there. You can't be here because we're barbells or something like that. So keep up the Carrie. So you find that niche. You're gonna find that niche like what Cheryl's doing, and network. Put yourself out there. You know what I'm gonna do next, Cheryl? We're gonna start a Jerry Hab comedy show because we got 2 clients right now are comedian. So we're gonna find a place where we're gonna, one is a physician and one is a works in school system, and they're all both retired, and they said they used to do comedy before. No wonder when they come in here, they're like making us laugh. So I'm like, let's create a show. And that physician traveled not because she was a physician, but she traveled because being a comedian.
Oh,
So we're gonna
yeah.
we're gonna do that Jerry Hab comedy show. So
Hey, laughter is great medicine.
I know.
Yeah, no, yeah,
So well,
absolutely.
anyway, Cheryl, where can we reach you? I know you're a very busy person. Where can we reach you? When are you gonna start your program? We need that. And then yeah, stuff like that.
So, yeah, the best way to reach out to us is through our website that's been scrolling down there that he just popped up. Thank you. It's www.soul2soulyoga.srq.com. And the SRQ is actually the airport code for this area. That's probably the easiest way to reach us. Sign up for the newsletters. We'll keep you posted as far as when that comes out. I have a couple of continuing ed coming up, not for the business part, but there's one live here in Florida. So if you are listening and you are here, it's 2 CEUs and a beer. Nobody wants to sit in a stuffy hotel room. So we'll be outside in a beer garden giving you 2 CEUs and we'll buy you a beer. And we've got one.
Wow. So there's the yoga beer now. When you're doing your yoga, you're like drinking beer.
I don't combine the two. So if I've got my OT hat on and we're giving a continuing education event, then yes. If it's yoga, no, there's not going to be any alcohol involved. I am contracted to teach a
no
course.
one-leg stance with yoga or something like that.
No, now you're neurologically impaired, and no, you're a fall risk. You should know these things, Mike.
I know, right?
But yeah, so the other one's contracted through Yoga for the Special Child, where I'll be talking about trauma and sensory processing, and it's linked to limited language and how to best serve your clients with developmental disabilities. You do not have to have a yoga background to take that course, although it would be helpful, but we're going to break down all the pieces into the yoga class as to why they are needed, the research behind them, as well as how that impacts all the other systems in your body. So all that information is on the website. So if you're interested in either one of those courses, that's where you can go find it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Cheryl. Appreciate you for coming over. And then, of course, she's going to have her own show here too someday. We're working on that, promoting her yoga classes and everything, and of course, teaching yoga online. So I need that too. So again, before I let you go, ladies and gentlemen, always remember the word fast. FAST, letter F. Find friends that will bring out the best in you. Find people that will push you to your next level, because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So who are you hang out with today? Today I hang out with Cheryl Albright. I feel like I can be a yoga instructor now, right? Be the best. Find best. Remember this word. OQP, only quality people. Hang out with those quality people that you want to be. Okay? Hang out with those people who are actually complaining in life. You're gonna end up complaining too. Hang out, you hang out in the barber shop. I need the barber. I need to have my hang out in the barber shop. You're gonna get a haircut soon, right? You're gonna be like, okay, I want to be the next. So find people, be intentional. You cannot be just a wandering generality. You need to be intentional about it. Reach out to people, reach out. So next letter is letter A. Take action. All this stuff that we're doing, it's not going to do me good. It's not even going to do Cheryl good if you don't take action. I mean, we're not getting, really super duper millions of dollars doing this, right? But take action. Take action by reaching out to Cheryl. Hey, I want to learn more about your program, about the yoga stuff, about how to start your yoga. What do I need to do? She mentioned about the word DBA. Do I really need a DBA? Do I need an EIN, LLC? Reach out to her, and you got to take action, ladies and gentlemen. So letter A, next is letter S. Share and subscribe. Share and subscribe on Cheryl's, I assume Cheryl has a Facebook page. You do have a Facebook page, right, Cheryl?
I do. Yes, the Soul to Soul Yoga SRQ. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Go to her website. There's probably a link to her Facebook page or Instagram page. Share it, because it may not be applicable to you, but it could be applicable to someone else. Somebody like, oh, want to know about yoga stuff? I'll send her Cheryl Albright. So you gotta make sure, share, subscribe. And last but not least, is letter T. Is teach it. Why? Because when you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually teaching it, you're actually understanding it more. That's what Cheryl is doing. She's teaching us how to learn, how to open up your yoga practice. Again, thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Any last parting wisdom, Cheryl?
No, just put yourself into action.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much, my Facebook friends, YouTube, podcast. Again, be awesome, be great, be excellent, and we will see you later, our my friends and haters. Bye bye. We'll be back next week.